Somebody make sure.
Yeah.
All right, Shalom.
Shalom.
First and foremost, we want to give all praise, all honor, and all glory to Yahweh.
Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, B'Kakadash.
Double honors to our apostles and our elders of Great Millstone and Ruwell. Peace and blessings to you, like I'm kicking this word in sincerity and in truth. All right. What we want to go into today through the Spirit, Lord, and it's edifying. Didn't know how long it's going to be, but that's how the Spirit works, you know. But we was going to go into the new song, all right, and how when you go into the new song, that ultimately represents us prophesying, you know, praising the name of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. But when we look at the different ancient men, looking at King David, for example, how he set up the priesthood, he had set up a choir. And when you go into the choir, they were singing the new song. They were singing praises unto the Lord. And how that tradition, we're going to go in today, how that tradition still plays out through the middle of the Lord.
Right.
All right? So,
Right.
Unless y'all have something to say.
Nah. Let's go ahead and get started.
I got it already.
Okay. Go ahead.
Psalms 40:3. And he hath put a new song in my mouth, even praise unto our power. Many shall see it and fear and shall trust in the Lord.
Read it again.
Psalms 40:3. And he hath put a new song in my mouth, even praise unto our power.
All right. That's what the new song is. The new song is basically we're the house of David. All right. And what we're going to read about is David set up a choir of Levites, all right, to sing those praises to the Lord when they were bringing the Ark of the Covenant back to Jerusalem. When he set up himself in power, one of the first things he set up was that choir, all right, and they were singing praises unto the Lord, man, all right, and that was a big part of our culture. Now today, what we're going to get into is now we are those priests, all right, we are that choir, all right, offering up those spiritual sacrifices and singing that new song. All right. And as the scriptures, when you read it, it talks about play skillfully. What's that? Psalms 33. It says play skillfully. Read that.
Yeah, Psalms 33:3. Sing unto him a new song, play skillfully with a loud voice.
Play skillfully with a loud voice. That's the doctrine. All right. Because there's a particular doctrine. There's a particular sacrifice that the Lord is looking for. Okay. And the sacrifice is very, very important, which we'll get more into that in another lesson. But that's a part of the whole duty of the Levitical priest. Okay. Now, through the sacrifice of Hamashiach Yahushua under the order of Melchizedek, we're all priests, which takes away a heavy burden, but we're in charge of singing those songs now.
That's right.
And that's what we're doing when we do these videos. So read that again.
I got that word new, Hebrew 23:19, as Kodash, meaning fresh and renewed, refreshed. So that means meaning we once had it already.
Right. That's right.
You know, meaning we, that's why it's refreshed. Like things written before time, written before I learned.
Right.
Remember the old path.
Right.
You know, we always had that. So
right.
Being refreshed means we're gonna keep it back.
We'll get Amos 9 where it says he's going to build the tabernacle of David.
Okay.
And then we'll,
I went to the Strong Life 2, Cal, in page 23:18. It says to renew, repair.
Right. When you talk about the new moon, that's the name for it. Because it's refreshed. The truth is being refreshed on the planet Earth, man. Okay. Somebody got that? Amos?
Amos, yeah.
You got it, brother? Go ahead.
Amos chapter 9, verse 11.
Mhm.
In that day I will rise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen, and close up the breaches thereof, and I will raise up his ruins, and I will build it as in the days of old.
As in the days of old. So when you go in the days of old, David set up a choir to sing that song, all right, when they were bringing that covenant back, man. And the Ark of the Covenant basically now is within the elect. We're that spiritual temple where that agreement lies, in which, what did he say? He was going to bring back, all right, a remnant out of Israel, the 144, okay, and set us back up. Now read that one more. You got something?
No, yeah, I got something.
That's it. You got something?
Yeah, Acts 15:16. After this, I will return and will build again the tabernacle of David, which is fallen down, and I will build again the ruins thereof, and I will set it up.
Right.
That's what we're doing.
And that was starting when those Gentiles was coming. That's when it started, and we're finishing it. We're fulfillment of it in these times. Go back and read Psalm 43 again. Did you read all the way through where it says play skillfully?
Well, I got the precept to it. Okay, that's Psalms 33 and 3.
Yeah, read that again.
Psalms 40 and 3. He hath put that new song in my mouth, even praise unto our power. Many shall see it and fear and shall trust in the Lord.
All right, so that new song is being sung through what we're teaching.
That's right.
And that's why it says in Psalms 33, play skillfully. You go to the people in the world. Miles Davis, if you was in a band with him, this is likened to a band,
Right.
and you was off course, he would hear it. He would kick your ass off the stage. You wouldn't get paid for that night, man. He'd hire somebody else. And that's how serious he was about his. So how much more? How about Shimon Shai, man?
Done. I'm gonna read.
Look at it.
Okay. First Chronicles chapter 25, and we're gonna bounce around a little bit, but I want to start at verse 3. Going into that new song that the elder brought out, we're mimicking exactly what was placed in there, and we understand through after when Yahushua was on the scene, he had set up his disciples. Peter was the head, and he had actually placed Peter on that standard for us to be able to get back. He gave him the keys pretty much. We know that through the Spirit being David. And that's all being mimicked afterwards, still on the planet Earth right now.
Right.
So let's get this in First Chronicles 25, starting at verse 3.
First Chronicles 25 and 3.
And really quick, when we go into this, what King David is establishing is he's getting certain individuals that were Levites, the priests. He grabbed, I believe it was 12 out of each certain nation in Israel, different fathers. And it was a group of them, but he's setting up the choir. He's going into the order of the choir pretty much. When you look at the significance symbolically, how it's 12, we're going to go into it. But we see how it's mimicking something bigger when you read it, So, yeah, let's get it.
It says, of Jeduthun, the sons of Jeduthun, Gedaliah and Zariah, and Jeshaiah, and Hashabiah.
Really, you should start at one again.
One.
Okay.
So they can get an understanding of what's happening.
It says, moreover, David and the captains of the host separated to the service of sons of Asaph and Haman and of Jeduthun.
And those are familiar names, even when you read the book of Psalms. Psalm of Asaph.
Yeah.
These
Psalm
different-
73.
Right. Showing you that King David was going into this choir, vivid detail.
Who shall prophesy with harps, with the psalteries, and with the cymbals?
Who shall prophesy with harps? So as they were singing, there was also prophesying as well. Saying before, that's exactly what we're doing right now. All right, we liken this as we read in Psalms 40 and 3 as a new song because that's actually what's being played. This is music on the planet Earth. Even times when you're outside, you might be, right after a prayer, they'll start reading or whatever. You'll hear birds start singing. You'll hear different sounds of music. The Lord likens his art, his craft, what he has us down here doing unto music. We was going into different healing benefits of it earlier before we started this lesson. But music really helps out. All right. Right. And even when you look at Israel as a people in general, we're the most musical people on the planet Earth, most talented musically, and that's not by accident. The Lord has said it like that intentionally. We understand Jacob's wicked, but when you go into the cream of this, the crop of Jacob, the elect, that's what's being played. That's what the Lord has, that the energy that's on the planet Earth, he has us doing that to call unto him, sing praises unto him,
Right. That's why I said play skillfully.
Right.
That's what these men were in charge with, which now we're a nation of priests. Now we're in charge of that.
Right.
See what I'm saying?
It says the number of the workmen according to their service was.
You can jump
down to 3 here. It says of Jeduthun, the sons of Jeduthun, Gedaliah and Zariah, and Jeshaiah and Hashabiah, and Mattathiah, 6 under the hands of their father Jeduthun, who prophesied with a heart to give thanks and to praise the Lord Yahweh.
Prophesy with a heart. And again, we're not going to read the whole chapter, but it goes, when you look at this thing of ours, it always correlates to music, prophesying with the heart. All right, go ahead.
Hey, remember King David took demons off of Saul with a harp.
That's right.
We're singing
right.
basically with that harp through the doctrine. We're taking demons off of the elect that are in the world who, when they hear the words,
That's right.
they hear it's just like that, liken them to that harp.
Mm.
Now it's our voice, our spirit, our energy, our vibration.
That's
This
right.
word going out in which our people are turning back to righteousness, man. And getting those demons from this world off of us.
That's right.
Because when you sing, you can't sing low. That's why I said in Isaiah, lift up that voice like a trumpet.
That's right.
That's another part of the instrument too, that trumpet. You know?
Because we had went into something before we started. We typed in the benefits of singing. It helps your immune system, right? It helps with stress. You know, just your overall conditioning. It's like a workout.
That's right.
That's why I said sing aloud. So it helps with a lot of things, man. It helps with your memory, muscle memory, everything. You know.
You got a precept by now?
This is Ephesians chapter 5, verse 18. It says, "And be not drunk with wine, wherein is excess, but be filled with the Spirit, speaking to yourselves in psalms and hymns and spiritual songs, singing and making melody in your heart to the Lord."
That's right. That's right. When you look at the condition of the planet Earth, people are drunk with wine. They're not sober. You know, they're corrupted. When you even read it in Isaiah 19, it talks about how the Lord placed a perverse spirit amongst it. You know, so the Lord is pretty much saying within this element that's out here, being within the midst of this, this is what you do in order to call on to me. Down in the spirit, we understand demons are corrupt. They mess with people. Singing this song, going into this doctrine, reading, prophesying, doing the things pertaining to the will of the Lord righteously, of course. You know, this is pertaining to that song. You know, because again, like the elder just said, music is healing. You know, so what's going on right now is this is healing to the elect. Okay, we go into the Comforter, understand what the Comforter is. What's going on is the people of the Most High, the elect, are being comforted by this word. That's through music. Having a bad day, sitting down, you need music to help you out. You know, this is the actual music with you. You know.
And then 2/3 they want to accept it. We piping in the marketplace.
Right.
Right. Piping. Right.
Piping, but y'all don't want to hear it, man.
Right. That's right.
Y'all don't want to accept it or hear it.
We can continue.
Continue, verse 4. It says, of Haman, the sons of Haman, Ukiah, Metaphaniah, Uzzah, Shabuel.
And these are all Levites. It's going into different families within the Levites who were parts of the choir. Okay.
Yep, they were.
Come.
You
can keep going off.
Let's see.
Matter of fact.
And of Jeremiah, Hananiah, Hanani, Eladah, Gedaliah, the Dalton, and Roman Teaser, Roman Teaser.
We can actually jump down to 8 because it'll keep on going into the names, but just wanted to kind of start off with the names and who they were. They were all Levites to start with Asaph.
I can start at 6.
Okay.
It says, all these were under the hands of the Father for song in the house of the Lord Yahweh.
Right.
With cymbals, psalteries, and harps for the service of the house of the Most High.
For the service. Okay. And that who were the ones that did the service pertaining to the house? You know what I'm saying? They would prep it up. This was part of it. This was part of the service of the Lord. Okay. Go ahead. Because we're servants at the end of the day. And when you go into that, you know what I'm saying? When you serve, what do? You wait. You know, part of that is prophecy going into what we do. All right. But again, all this pertains to the new song. Singing it with with singing psalms, with psalteries and cymbals. Okay. Those are all musical instruments. And while they were prophesying, as we read earlier, that music was playing. All right.
It got so good to the Lord one time, he came down.
That's right.
They were singing, the Levites, they were singing and praising so good and playing on that the Lord, the presence of the Lord, actually, the chariot came down to her. If I forget, if a brother I know you brothers know where it's at. Y'all know everything. Brothers be close. So if y'all know where that account is, post that Baba Kashab.
Done. It says, according to the king's order to Asaph, Jeduthun, and Haman, so the number of them which their brethren that were instructed in the songs of the Lord Yahweh.
Woo! They were instructed
Right.
in the songs of Yahweh.
That's right.
And who's that basically? From the foundation of the earth. What did the Lord tell Jeremiah? Before I knew you, I ordained you.
Right. That's right.
So the elect men are instructed from the foundation of the earth with the mind of the Lord and in those songs in his way.
That's right.
His praise. Even when they're in the spirit world, they're prophesying. That's in Revelation, the 6th chapter. They crying unto the Lord,
Right.
you know, under the altar, singing those songs. You know what I'm saying? That sweet savor, you know. Go ahead.
Even all that were cunning was 248. It says, and they cast lots, ward against ward, as well they, the small as the great, the teacher as the scholar.
Okay, go ahead again. It's setting up the choir pretty much. You know what I'm saying? But yeah,
What it say?
brother.
What did it say?
The ward is a guard, a watch, service, keeping, a preserving. Yeah. Customary.
Okay.
It says now, verse 9. Now the first lot came forth for Asaph.
Now it said the teacher and the scholar too.
Okay.
Meaning those Levites they knew the way of the Lord.
Right.
They were instructed. They were trained in the way of the Lord to go to the people and tell them this is what you do, this is what you don't do. Right. That's what we are doing today with this new song that we have.
Yeah.
You know,
That's interesting too when you look at it, because when you listen to music nowadays and the energy that's being put out, they tell you to disobey the Lord within the energy that they push. And Jake listens to that, and those became their modern day teachers now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They don't really go into the true way of the Lord like the others just went to, that we're doing through the Spirit, but they rather listen to stuff like that within that energy, man. You know, I just wanted to put that's a good point.
Okay, you want?
Oh, absolutely.
GMS soldier of Yahweh Yahushua said, Second Chronicles, chapter 5, verse 13. It came to even to pass as the trumpeters and singers were as one, to make one sound to be heard in praising and thanking Yahweh. And when they lifted up their voice with the trumpets and cymbals and instruments of music, and praised Yahweh, saying, for he is good, for his mercy endureth forever. That then the house was filled with a cloud, even the house of Yahweh.
This is gonna happen now too.
That's right. That's
Through
right.
us singing this new song
That's right.
on one accord perfectly. All right, the Lord is gonna come now. It is said the spirit of life of God entered into them, and they stood on their feet, a great army. And then a voice called. That's Revelation 11, right? The same narrative is being played out right now spiritually. Go ahead.
Verse 14, it says, so that the priests could not stand to minister by reason of the cloud, for the glory of Yahweh had filled the house of the Most High.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's the spirit. That's what's going on, man. This new song being sung, the Lord's gonna come back.
Right. Right.
But when you go into that scripture, when it talks about they were on one mind, one accord, I want to put us up in 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 10. Now I beseech you, brethren, by the name of our Lord Yahweh Shah Mashiach, that ye may all speak the same thing, that there no be divisions among you, but that ye perfectly be joined together in the same mind and in the same judgment. All right, and all that applies to this music that's being played. When you actually go into a choir, you know, actually singing and harmonizing with the same exact people, you have to be on the same rhythm and the same tone in order for the music to sound good, man. You have to know what the person next to you was singing. Y'all got to be on the same mind. All right, that perfectly played instrument that was played when the cloud came, we're going into how that's going to happen again. We have to practice this amongst ourselves.
Yep.
You know, all this pertains to the new song.
Right.
Of course, understanding prophecy, that's the main point of it. You know, but in order to do this, we have to all be on one accord so it'll be that perfect sound that's acceptable to Yahweh Hashem Yahushua.
That's right.
You know?
We together, we gotta talk about this word.
That's
you know,
right.
A lot before we chill. We go always chill. We go listen to music, instrumental. Come on, brother, start freestyling. But before you do all of that, go through the understanding of something.
Right.
In these times, I think that would be safe. Right. In these times, you know. Now, of course, we're gonna have our times we chill, but when we get together, man, let's make sure because there's brothers who need to be fed,
right,
who need to hear particular things in order to get demons off of them and be ready for the day of battle that's coming, man.
Right.
So we have to constantly gain understanding, like Peter said, who is David? Add unto your taste and virtue, to your virtue knowledge. If you are in these things, then you shall not be unfruitful or barren.
Mm-hmm.
I got one.
Yeah.
It says, 2 Peter 3:11, seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of person are you to be in all holy conversation and godliness? It goes with what you said. We get together, we got to talk about this thing.
Right.
No, this is what we do.
That's right.
You know, that's the manner of person we ought to be, discussing scriptures, because we're in that time.
Yeah, we in
That's
that
right.
time that it's important that we cast off the flesh. That's a part of sacrifice. Right. And see, this is what we're getting into. We are those priests. The priests were in charge of those sacrifices and singing those songs. Now, under the order of Melchizedek, we're those priests offering those sacrifices and singing those songs, man. So this office is very, very important in what we're doing, man.
That's right. That's right. And I'm trying to find it here. I believe it's in Revelation, the 6th chapter. Yeah, there we go. This is Revelation chapter 5, verse 9. And it says, and they sung a new song saying, thou art, oh, I'm sorry.
Now, this
At the
new
end of the
song,
day,
this chapter, we ain't going to go to the whole thing, but this chapter basically, the Yahushua gave the men of the Lord that comforter that he promised.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he opened up the seals. Remember, at the time of Daniel, the book was sealed. All right. But then John the Baptist came. Okay. And then what? The Lord in the spirit world, he sent down this. He said, I will not leave you comfortless.
Exactly.
I will not leave you comfortless. The comforter shall come to you, even the spirit of truth, whom the world cannot receive. That's that new song,
right,
which we'll get Revelation 14 in a little bit. 144,000 are the only ones who can play that song skillfully. Skillfully.
That's right.
That's what we mean by 100% truth. A lot of people get emotional. You don't know everything. You go off. But in the spirit of the elect men, ain't no such thing as going off. They are 100.
That's right.
And they're here on the earth. Okay?
This is Revelation chapter 5, verse 9. And they sung a new song saying, thou art worthy to take the book and open the seals thereof. For thou wast slain and hast redeemed us to the Most High by the blood out of every kindred.
He's that sacrifice.
Right.
Now, whenever Israel went off, what had to be done? The singing of those songs and the sacrifice, right? In order for the Lord to look down on Israel and say, you know what?
Mm-hmm.
But Yahushua was the ultimate sacrifice. And under him, the house of David, all right, we're in charge of now those priestly duties.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying? And we're singing that new song.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that happened when we had retrieved the Ark of the Covenant from, I believe it was the house of Obed-Edom.
Obed-Edom, servant of Edom.
That's right.
That's the last place the Ark of the Covenant rested, in his house, all right, before it was brought back to Jerusalem.
That's right.
And what did David do? He set up that choir. What you got?
Yeah, well, that's the spirit. You know, when they brought it back and he sung, when you go into it, David gave a song. You know what I'm saying? He said one of the songs, but it was music playing. You know, but the thing is, though, the Levites had to end up carrying the ark from Obed-Edom's dwelling over to Jerusalem. Right. Because remember, it was I can't remember his name. If a brother knows it on the comment board, that's what's up. But pretty much, he went to grab it. He died. He died. Yeah. Exactly. Couldn't touch it.
Can't touch this.
David cried to the Lord. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because he like, what can we do?
Right. And then he thought he brought the Levites.
That's right.
And the whole time that they were bringing that Ark of the Covenant back to Jerusalem, they were singing those songs.
Mm-hmm. That's
You
right.
want to get 1 Corinthians or 1 Chronicles 15?
Yeah, come on.
Just to show them that history real quick.
Yeah, come on. This is 1 Chronicles chapter 15. Let's see.
16. Verse 15 and 16.
15 and 16. Okay. 1 Chronicles 15 and 16. Come. And David spake to the chief of the Levites to appoint their brethren to be singers with instruments of music, psalteries and harps and cymbals, sounding by lifting up the voice with joy.
Sounding by lifting up the voice with joy. So while they were bringing that Ark of the Covenant, what is the Ark of the Covenant? It dwells in the temple.
That's right.
And who's the new temple? Us. The Ark of the Covenant. The agreement is made that, what did he say? I'm going to put the laws in your inward part. Okay, that's that covenant lies with the elect.
That's right.
And that ark, spiritually is here with us.
Right.
This is where the sacrifices are being done. This is where the songs are being sung.
That's right.
Okay, these are the Levites, the 144 that the Lord set up, his church.
That's right. That's
what was done in the temple, the sacrifice. Now our bodies are a living sacrifice. And we're singing those songs.
That's right.
Now it said here, read that again.
Oh, slack.
Yeah, precept.
God, that's what I was going to read that again. Slack. And David spake, slack. Verse 16. And David spake to the chief of the Levites to appoint their brethren to be singers with instruments of music, psalteries and harps, and cymbals sounding by lifting up the voice with joy. So the Levites appointed Heman, the son of Joel, and of his brethren Asaph, the son of Berechiah, and of the sons of Meriah, their brethren, Ethan, the sons of Cushiah.
Now, these were basically the sons of Aaron, on down through. They had particular duties. Right. Now, you want to bring that out that we brought out about David and Sirach? We need to get that. Sirach 45 and 25. But that was to a specific line of men out of the Levitical priesthood, the Levites. See that? But guess what? Now we're all priests. The house of David, the 144. Read that.
This is Sirach 45 and 25. According to the covenant made with David, the son of Jesse.
What was the covenant that the Lord made with David? That the Messiah will come out of his loins. Okay? And establish Israel back to righteousness. That's the perfect sacrifice. Go ahead.
Of the tribe of Judah, that the inheritance of the king should be to his posterity alone.
To his posterity. Go ahead.
So the inheritance of Aaron should also be unto his seed.
The inheritance of Aaron. So out of Yahushua, okay, under the order of Melchizedek that came out of David, now we're all priests. So we're not bound to wait and have, because like the brother said, we had to wait on Levi, the Haitians. Boy, true, nigga, throw a dagger at you. You're like, bro, I'm just trying to tell you about God. Kill him, claw him. Start clawing at you, shoot, bugged out. Which a lot of them are coming to righteousness in this time. But the point is, now the house of David are those priests, as we just read.
That's right. Gone. And when you go into it in the law, and I got that in Exodus 30 and 30, but when you go into it, it was very precise how Yahushua wanted to set it up. It was only through the loins of Aaron. You know what I'm saying? That was the priesthood. I got this in Exodus 30 and 30, and it says, and thou shalt anoint Aaron and his sons and consecrate them, that they may minister unto me in the priest's office.
Right. So before the Levites, sons of Aaron, went and did those things, they were anointed by Moses.
Right.
Who was Moses in the spirit?
King David. That's right.
It's the house of David. Those priests that was able to offer up those sacrifices, which we were talking about earlier. Whenever Israel went off, each king that did right, what made them right? They set back up the true worship of Yahweh, all right, on the planet Earth.
That's right.
All right, which is what? Sacrifice. They set up the daily sacrifice back. That's why the heathen always went after the temple, because they knew if we would do those sacrifices, the Lord would hear us. So Antiochus, what did he do? What did it say in Daniel? He took away the daily sacrifice. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So now it's nothing Esau can do because it's spiritual.
Right.
And it was already foreordained through us.
Mhm.
And we're offering up those sacrifices in the spirit. You see? The sacrifices weren't done away with. They're now fulfilled under Yahushua and through his house, which is the house of David, which are those priests. You see? Man, royal priesthood. The royal priest.
Yeah.
We're a royal priesthood. You see what I'm
That's
saying?
That's right. Yeah. This thing of ours, that was pretty much the key point.
Yeah.
This thing of ours is very important, though, man. Now, I do want to go back to First Chronicles, the 25th chapter. Yeah. Okay. 'Cause there was a key. It goes into, yeah, let's see here.
We stopped at 9, right?
Yeah, I stopped, bro.
Nah, I stayed. No, I stayed.
No.
You know, you got a lesson. Sometimes you got a lesson, and one brother keep going. You're like, damn.
No, but those are beautiful points that it came out. And all that pertains to, what we're going into, man. The altar that's being set up, the noise that's being heard, that sweet savor, it's appeasing to the Lord, man. We want to make sure that we sing it perfectly. All right, well, as perfect as we can, knowing that we're here in the flesh, understanding that, Yahushua died for our sins. You know what I'm saying? He was that sacrifice like the elder went into, but we still got to do the best we can to make sure that we sing properly. At the end of the day, we're rehearsing the righteous acts,
Right.
But it was First Chronicles chapter 25.
9.
We stopped at 8.
Okay.
I was doing it 9.
Time. Because after this, I want to pull up Revelation, the 7th chapter, just going into the song and the priests and the number. All right, because the Lord deals with numbers in numerous ways. And when you read this here, you can kind of get a hint of what this is leaning towards. Go ahead,
It
brother.
says, now the first lot came forth for Asaph to Joseph. It says the second to Gedaliah, who was his brother, and sons were 12.
Okay, so now it's separating individual families within the Levitical priesthood that he had set up to be in the choir. And he's numbering them by 12, father, son, and brother. All right, go ahead.
It says the third to Sephor, his sons, and his brethren were 12.
Okay, another set of 12. All right, go ahead.
The fourth was Israel, his sons and brethren were 12.
His sons and brethren were 12. Now, we don't really got to keep going because when you go all the way down to the last verse, it continually names it. But when you look at it, it's like, okay, he was dividing them into 12 families. This is very interesting because, again, this is going into the priesthood of the new song. Well, the song in general, who were set up to prophesy, sing with harps and psalteries and cymbals, that daily sacrifice, the prayer was going up and also the songs were going up, So when you go into it, if a brother has Revelation, the 7th chapter, you already know where to start. Because what we're doing right now is we're mimicking that exact same thing. All right, as Moses had anointed Aaron to be head over the priests, the same thing applies. Hey, at the end of the day, David, David appointed, the choir. He has set them up, and this is going on right now. The house of David, the music is being played. This is the sacrifice. All right, go ahead.
This is Revelation chapter 7, verse 4. And I heard the number of them which were sealed, and there were sealed 144,000.
Right, they were sealed 144,000. Who's the they? It's going into the men that sign that cry, that sing the song. All right, go ahead.
It says, of all the tribes of the children of Israel.
Right, all the tribes of the children of Israel. Remember, we're not under the Levitical priesthood. If we would have to wait for them, we'd be through. When I say that, I'm talking about the Levites. But the Lord had gathered his remnant, and we've all been scattered. All right, under the order of Melchizedek. All right, we're coming back. It doesn't have to be through the loins of Aaron. All right. I mean, of course, we understand the importance, but we see the bigger picture that's being painted. Go ahead.
Verse 5, it says, of the tribe of Judah were sealed 12,000.
12,000, right? There's the number 12 again. Of course, we know 12 and 12,000 are huge margins, but 12,000.
Right.
All right, go ahead.
It says, of the tribe of Reuben were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Gad were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Asher were sealed 12,000.
Now, mind you, again, when you read it in First Chronicles 25th chapter, it was specifying the different families within the Levitical priesthood
Right.
that were of the choir that would sing. But we see here in Revelation, it's going into the 12,000 out of each of the tribes. Okay, we went into the sacrifice. All Israel had to come back. But Yahushua, all of us have a way. Okay, all Israel.
Right.
So we're scattered. We're scattered amongst, but all the tribes are singing this song, and the Lord is saying 12,000 out of each of these tribes.
And it's look through the sacrifice of Yahushua and the sacrifice of his men, that his house.
That's right.
You see what I'm
That's right.
saying? These men that you're reading about, they're a sacrifice.
Yeah.
Even when they're in the spirit world, they're under the altar. Here, what's that? What we read, Isaiah 19?
Yeah.
Real quick, real quick.
This is Isaiah chapter 19. This is Isaiah chapter 19, verse 19. In that day shall there be an altar to the Lord in the midst of the land of Egypt.
And the altar to the Lord in the midst of the land of Egypt. That's where we make our bodies a living sacrifice.
Right.
So the altar lies within us. The kingdom of heaven is within us. We're the sacrifice now. Under Yahushua, of course.
That's right. That's right.
Go ahead.
Come. And a pillar at the border thereof to the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
And it shall be for a sign.
Now, America's the new Egypt, right?
That's right.
So there's an altar in the land of Egypt.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And through that altar, what do? We're singing that new song. Go ahead.
Come. And it shall be for a sign and a witness unto the Lord of hosts in the land of Egypt.
Uh-huh.
And they shall cry unto the Lord
Uh-huh.
because of the oppressors.
Uh-huh.
And he shall send unto them a savior.
So they go sing that song, cry unto the Lord because of the oppressors, come back to who they are, and he's going to send them a savior. That's why. Now, what came with the sacrifices? The frankincense,
Right.
the particular animals,
Yeah.
okay, the woods, and that smelled good.
Right.
That's why this doctrine is likened unto a sweet savor. When you read, what's that, Corinthians?
God.
We are a sweet savor unto Hamashiach.
God.
To one with a to the wicked with a death unto death, or to the good with a life unto life.
Right.
Who's sufficient for these things? That's that new song that we're singing. You see what I'm saying?
That's right. That's right. For they shall cry unto the Lord because of the oppressors, and he shall send them a savior and a great one, and he shall deliver them. Okay. And as the brother brought the precept out earlier in Chronicles, when they were singing and sacrificing, the music sounds so good that a cloud appeared right in the temple. You know, spiritually, that's the exact same thing that had happened back then. That's going to take place. Singing this new song, sacrificing. That's going to take place, and that's going to be that deliverer. Yahushua is going to come back as that cloud, which we ultimately know it's the angels in heaven that's going to come back. You know, but that exact same thing is being mimicked by this music by this music that's being played. You know. Let's go back to Revelation 7.
Continuing on in Revelation chapter 7, and I was in verse 6.
And then if a brother can pull up Revelation 14 right afterward, about the show.
Hey, can I read the scripture for you?
Yeah, please.
2 Corinthians 2:15. For we are unto the Most High sweet savor to Yahushua in them that are saved and in them that perish.
That's right. That's right. That sweet savor. Conducting yourself as a man of the Lord. Doing the things pertaining to the spirit that the scriptures talk about. Sacrificing, right. The new song. Prophesying, but also too conducting yourself as a man of the Lord. All right. That holy conversation that was brought out earlier. All these pertain to it. Okay. That's that song. All right.
14.
Yeah. Yep.
You got it? So Revelation 14:3. And they sung as it were a new song before the throne.
That's that savor. That new song that's being sung. The prophecy. All right. We read it in Chronicles earlier. When they would prophesy, they would play the harps and the cymbals. Okay. Go ahead.
It says, and they sung as it were a new song before the throne and before the 4 beasts and the elders, and no man could learn that song but the 144,000 which were redeemed from the earth.
Which were redeemed from the earth. And what's that? That's that truth, the 100% truth. All right. That new song, knowing the whole thing tit for tat, again, we went into the importance of an orchestra and choir and how everybody had to be on the same accord. All that applies within that, man, conducting yourself that way.
And redeemed from the earth also goes into from the foundation of the earth. They were chosen to be separate. They were chosen to be holy. All right?
That's right.
Purchased. They were given unto Yahushua.
Mm-hmm.
When you read John 17, also the believers,
That's right.
also the one who believe in the word, who believe in the new song, are blessed. Part of that too. You know?
That's right. Yeah.
Verse 4, these are they which were not defiled with women, for they are virgins.
Which we understand that doesn't mean physical virgins, but that means pretty much having their eyes single, their mind single. All right? That's what that goes into. Okay? Following the Lamb whithersoever he goeth. It goes into not going off into these different doctrines. We understand how Israel fell. All right? That's why we had to keep on setting up the sacrifice. We always had that new king that would set up the sacrifice when all the wicked kings went off. All right? Because what? They were following different philosophies of the heathen. All right? That new song that's being played is that constant reminder of who the Most High is, who his son is, who you are. You know what I'm saying? But more importantly, what's going on in this word. All right? That's that constant reminder. That's why the Lord talks about he's going to separate. That's that separation. You know? Because the ones who are going to be redeemed are the ones that's crying. You don't see Jake doing that right now. Jake is crazy as hell, man. Crazy. You talk about a song with Jake and it has something to do with some carnal bullshit. Excuse my language. You know?
I got this real quick. Proverbs 5:3. For the lips of a strange woman are as the drop as a honeycomb, and her mouth is smoother than oil, but her end is bitter as wormwood, sharp as a two-edged sword. So that woman, they're not defiled with women. The 144 from the foundation of the earth have been separated.
That's right.
They're not defiled, all right, by the philosophies of a strange woman, which is a different doctrine.
Right.
Though in our lifetime we celebrated Christmas, but our spirits were always chosen to be perfect.
Exactly.
If we're those men, and their mouth is found no doubt. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
why Brother Top, you read and said with purchase, you've been redeemed, those been redeemed back. Do that.
That's right. That's right. Blameless. You know, striving for masteries. Matter of fact, I do want to pull this up since we're going into this. I want to pull this up in 2 Timothy chapter 2. And I want to start at verse 5. Just want to read verse 5. It says,
Okay.
okay.
I got it. And if a man also strive for mastery, yet is he not crowned, except he strive lawfully.
All right. Now, the reason I wanted to go into this is when you go into that word masteries, that goes into that crown. All right. The word in the Greek is Stephanos. And that word means crown. All right. And that we went into how they were going to be redeemed by the new song. You know, that goes into striving for those masteries.
Victor of the contest.
Khan, that's right.
Mm.
Khan, that's right. Victory of the contest. But we understand the flesh, a lot of things that we deal with down here is part of the contest. All right. So we want to separate ourselves and sing this song so we'll be heard by the Lord. You know, the Lord scattered us all out here among the heathen, but it had to be set up this way in order for his name to be pushed throughout the whole earth. And he set up those priests out of the nation of Israel to sing that song, man. Those men that were from the foundation of the earth as an other went into, man. Those are going to be the men that strive for that crown. The redeemed, you know, redeemed by the song, by the prophecy, the music, you know. You got to appreciate that.
Part of that striving and suffering too, man.
That's right.
You know, yeah, it's gonna be suffering. So it's all part of enduring, you know, enduring too.
That's right. That's a good point. And when you go into the 144,000 and the 12 tribe out of each tribe, and even also too the 1/3, you know, but we understand the 144 being that lump sum of the prophets who sing this song perfectly, you know. Within that being the case, we know that there's a job that has to be done within that, singing this song, you know, conducting yourself as a man of the Lord, being a brother, prophesying, being that sacrifice that we were talking about, you know, 12,000 out of each of those tribes. That sacrifice is being set up, you know, under the order of Melchizedek, who we know is Yahushua. Okay. Did you have any precepts or anything? Okay, cool. Well, we can end it off on that one. All right. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. But we want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Ba'adash. Double honors to our apostles and our elders of Great Millstone and Ruwell. Peace, salutations, and blessings to the elect, kicking this word of sincerity and truth. Shalom.
Shalom.